This is the part 2 of crime. Do you remember my last video? It is also about crime, but that is just part 1. And in the part 2, there are lots and lots more vocabulary. So let's learn together some English vocabulary and definitions. Like the first part is specialized in some kind of types of crime. But in the part 2 here, it's some verbs, some nouns, some adjective. So let's find out about crime part 2 together. First, we have the term fraud. Okay, wait a second. Here is the word fraud. Fraud. So let's look at the definition. It's like the wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. Well, an easier definition would be, you can just say that fraud is something that is illegal. It's illegal, you can't do it, but you do it, so it's fraud, it's illegal. Yeah, so it's like the same meaning as illegal, fraud. And often you can say that a credit or debit card is fraud. So we have the term credit card fraud or debit card fraud. And the definition is the credit or debt card. Debit card fraud is a form of identity theft that involves taking off another credit card information for the purpose of charging purchases to the account of removing funds from it. So simply mean that your credit card, if some people have a credit card or a debit card and that someone they stole it from you and they changed the name, so that is illegal. That is fraud. Yeah. Credit card fraud or debit card. So we have two types of card, credit card or debit card. Instead of cash, like some people, they don't have these kinds of card, so they use cash in hand. But if you don't want to use cash, then you can use credit card. And here, this theft can occur physically when the actual credit and debit card is taken, or the theft can occur when just the numbers are stolen from an unprotected website or a card reader at a gas station. So you know that the situation when your credit card or debit card fraud, yes, it's stolen from someone. The situation is really bad and sometimes you have to do it yourself. You have to know who's the person to stole your credit or debit card. And here we have an example so that it would be clear. The gang were involved in credit card fraud. That means the gang stole credit or debit card from someone. So the gang were involved in credit card fraud. When you heard the sentence, we have a new grammar. Were involved in something. The subject plus the to be and involved in something. So that make a good sentence for you. So let's make a sentence with involved in. This is an example sentence. The gang were involved in credit card fraud. And here is the definition of the word court. Here is the word court. So what is this supposed to mean? A court is any person or institution. It can either be a person or place, often as a government institution with the authority to adjudicate legal disputes between parties, like the first party or the second party. Well, the word party here does not mean you party, there's cake and sweets. That is not that meaning in the sentence. Party in this situation means a person in a party. And carry out the administration of justice in civil, criminal, and administrative matters in accordance with the rule of law. The noun court can also describe the building or room where a court meets. It simply means that a room called a court. And if you want to go to if you want to tell somebody, tell the judge that this one did something really, really bad, you will both go to the court and the judge will judge the two of you to see who is right and who is wrong. And here's the noun, judge. Judge is the person that works in a court, a public officer appointed to decide cases in a lower court. If you want to be a judge, you have to study law. So judge is quite a hard job because you have to remember hundreds of rules, thousands of rules. Yes. So a judge is working in a court. And for example, me and one of my friends, we both do something bad. And one person tells the judge, and we both go to the court, and then we will tell things out, who is wrong, who is right. So we have court and judge. We can also call the judge here. We can also call the judge a different name, and that different name is head of the court, because the judge is the head of the court. The judge controls things. And we have criminal contempt of court. Criminal contempt of court. So what does that supposed to mean? Well, criminal contempt of court refers to behavior which disobey, offense of the respect, the authority, or dignity of a court. It simply means that some criminal, and they have to go to the court so that the judge can tell things out, console things out. And the criminal can't take it anymore, so he will shout, he will yell, and he will stomp, he will kick someone. That is criminal contempt of court, disobey, and that is a disrespectful to the judge. And here, it can occur directly in the presence of the court, or indirectly when it happens outside the presence of the judge. Criminal contempt charge becomes separate charges from the underlying case. Well, it can be direct. It can be direct in a court, kick someone, yell someone, or it can be indirect. After the court, he'll do it. And here is a phrasal verb, hold in contempt. So criminal contempt of court also have a phrasal verb, hold in contempt. This is the phrase used when someone has been charged with the crime of contempt of court. That's it. We learned one phrasal verb today. Yeah. Here's an example sentence. I will hold you in the contempt of court for your action. I mean, they're going to protect you if you do something wrong. And that's a lawyer that's going to protect you. Here we have quite a good phrase, disturbing the peace. Disturbing the peace, also known as breach of the peace, is a criminal offense that occurs when a person engages in some form or unruly public behavior, such as fighting or causing excessively loud noise. So that is disturbing the peace. And simply mean that here, around here, really peaceful, just me talking. But somebody come in this house and yelling and shouting really, really loud, that means he or she is disturbing the peace. Example sentence, he was arrested for disturbing the peace. We have this, drug possession. So it is a crime to willfully possess illegal controlled substance, such as some kind of drug, club drugs, and heroin, marijuana, methamphetamine, lots of kind of different drugs. So don't do drugs, because drug possession is a kind of crime, and that crime is some people that use drug illegally. We can also have this term, drug trafficking. Drug trafficking is selling, transporting, or importing illegally drugs. Another name for this crime is drug distribution. For example, a ship is full of boxes, and in that boxes there's a lot of drugs, so that they're transporting drug illegally. It's very bad to transporting drugs. And here we have another term, driving under the influence, or DUI, drug driving. So here, the definition is like most state laws define crime of driving under the influence as driving a motor vehicle on a road or highway while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. So you know what this means? When you ride a bike or even ride a motorbike or a car, whatever vehicle is that on the road, and when you ride a car, you cannot drink alcohol and drive a car, right? That is definitely against the rule, illegal. And if you drive a car and you drink some kind of like alcohol, beer, wine, different kinds of alcohol, and that is driving under the influence, totally illegal, against the rules. And if the police find out, you're in big trouble. So don't ever drink alcohol when you're driving a car or any kind of road vehicle. And here's an example. The actress has 2 DUI offenses. We have the term embezzlement. So here is the definition. The crime of embezzlement is where a person has lawful possession of the property of another, converts or take that property for their own use, and has no intention of giving it back. This type of crime is most common in the employment and corporated. And here is the term for it. Embezzlement and embezzer is the person who steals money despite being entrusted to take care of it. So embezzer is the person that do embezzlement. We have extortion or cyber extortion. And the extortion simply means that you kind of like cyber someone through the internet, or you can also call that cyber extortion. And cyber extortion is on the rise in the modern society. Really, really dangerous. Like, you know, like hacker, they can hack to your information, to your personal information, personal photo. And that they will post it on some internet or some Facebook, some kind of social media, which is really bad. So here, let's read this together. Cyber criminals use a tool known as ransomware to encrypt a user's important files and documents, making them unreadable until a ransom is paid. And here we have jail and prison. Jail and prison are both noun, but they're different. You might think that jail is the same as prison, but they're different. Here they are, the difference between jail and prison. Jails are intended for short sentence and therapy, temporary confinement, while prison are for felony sentences longer than a year. So jail, if the judge said that you go to jail, that means you'll go for a short time, maybe a month or a week. But if the judge say that you may go to prison, that means you'll go to prison longer than jail, longer than a year. That is the difference. And also you can see that here the difference, the place is different. Jail are much smaller than prison. Jail are usually much smaller than prison and can be located within a police station. Prison are usually huge complexes with many buildings, you can see that. Prison, lots and lots of buildings, and jail, just a small room. And here you can see the word cell, prison cell and jail cell. We have the word prisoner, which is the man, which is like some kind of man in a prison, a person legally committed to prison as a punishment for a crime or while awaiting trial. And you can say here are the synonyms, the words, here are all the words that have the same meaning as crime. You can call that inmate, convict, or short for convicted con, or jailbird, which is a really funny word, jailbird. But you can all call them prisoner. And prisoner simply mean that a person is in prison. That's it. And that brings us to the end of the video. Bye guys.